Something wrong, sir?
No.
The foremast is sound enough for an old ship like this.
Plenty of good sailing left in her yet.
Pumping good order, Mr. Baines?
Oh, we're only bound for Southampton, sir. I hope we'll have no need for pumping.
The nor'wester blown up. Moved around Land's End yet.
Oh, I've navigated Land's End time enough, Mr. Onedin.
As every master said before he lost his ship.
Well, we should be in Falmouth by tomorrow morning, sir. How long will you and Mr. Robert need to be there?
Oh, we're only going to look at a tugboat for sale then. I've every confidence in the solid roads. Oh, and in you too, Mr. Baines.
You know, she'll have to keep up steam all the time if she's to be any use for harbour work.
Robert, think of what it costs in time and money to bring a sailing ship onto a berth when the wind's contrary. Now, with a tug of our own, what we could pick up a ship the moment the ship appears in the Mersey.
You've managed very well enough without up till now.
Well, only by hiring a Fraser ship whenever we've needed one, and at their price. But with 2 or 3 of these, why the Onedin Tug Company could do work for half the port.
Hold your horses.
Oh, well, now, of course, if you're having second thoughts about it, I could find the money somewhere else.
Now, I didn't say that, did I? I came here to find out how my money's being spent.
And having a few days' holiday, eh?
Holiday? I came here for a bit of peace and quiet. But with Sarah back home going on and on and on about that new house, it's... What's the matter with you, James? You've been pricking up your ears at every creak of this ship's timbers since we left Liverpool. Is there something up with her?
No. She's a very sound ship for her age.
Then why are you so anxious?
I'm not. Anyway, we only have to get as far as Southampton after that. After that, the Brazilians take the cargo on to Rio.
Oh, well, you go on with her to Southampton and I'll stay here in Falmouth and look into that tug.
We're going on shore as planned, and we'll buy that tug together.
You wanting to navigate her, Captain Albie?
That's what we're out here for.
This here goes down the engine room.
I've sailed on steamers before, Mr. Starr. Thank you very much.
You, take a cup of tea, Mrs. Fraser?
There's a galley.
Oh, not just a galley. Built on a proper cabin for yourself. Take a look.
Quite a home from home.
Of course. I live aboard. I'll get tea.
You can't serve tea to a lady out of those.
Eh? Oh, right, Seth. I'll get out the good stuff.
Wonder what he wants for her.
£4,000, he told me.
We'll go lower.
Yes, I'm sure.
She'd be a bargain at 3,500. Have you had a look at her papers? 6 years old, built here in Falmouth, been on harbour work ever since.
And the surveyor's report?
It's a good one. If you went to 3,008, you wouldn't lose by it.
Perhaps we'll buy her then.
Let's see how she turns. Can't complain about that.
I was thinking we might stay a few days.
What did you say?
Well, it would be a change from Liverpool, away from everyone we know. A holiday. At my expense, of course.
Yes, well, I'd rather it was at mine.
Oh, don't be proud, Matt.
Tea's ready. Shall I take over, sir?
Why not? Looks like I'm on holiday.
Just checking before I go ashore.
You'll find it's all properly stowed.
That bell with this shift.
All well secured, sir.
That heavy machinery stowed aft.
It's all chalked off securely, sir, and the boat is alongside to take you ashore. Your agent, Mr. Logan, will be waiting.
Well, he'll have to wait, won't he? You know what this cargo's worth? £10,000. That's 500 to me.
The steamer at Southampton doesn't even start loading for a week, sir. It'll all be there in good time.
Good, good. No hurry then, hey?
Mr. Onedin, sir. If there's something I ought to know, you'd be wise not to keep it from me.
Very well, Baines.
Oh. Ah, there you are at last.
It'll all be settled by next week, so meantime, take care.
Take care. I understand, sir. I just wish you'd told me before.
Come on then, you. Let's go and have a look at that tub.
We've seen enough now, Seth. Take her back. Nice and steady.
Yeah, we can't have them spilling their tea, can we?
How'd you find her, Captain Abbey?
She responds well.
Ah, she's a good woman, the Alice.
Why are you selling her?
Go to South Africa. Got a brother out there, Prospect.
Gold?
Oh, yeah. We'll make our fortune.
Or lose all you have.
I'll lose naught but the Alice. With the Falmouth Tug Company here, there's not much business for one man.
I'll give you £5,000 for this tug, Mr. Starr.
What'd you say?
5,000.
Elizabeth.
Subject only to satisfactory performance at sea, of course. That means extensive trials at sea.
But she's a harbour tug.
Yes, well, I have other ideas for her. I want to turn her into a passenger-carrying ferry steamer. Mr. Harvey agrees it's possible. Don't you?
You need a Board of Trade certificate for that.
And I'm not sure if she has enough power.
Well, that's what we'll find out. Take her out to sea for the rest of the day, and tomorrow too, perhaps. Well, Mr. Starr?
5,000.
Only if she meets our requirements at sea.
She'll do that, no mistake.
Then you accept.
I accept. I need to take on more coal. I'll tell Seth.
Elizabeth.
The Charlotte Rhodes is here, and I have just seen James and Robert walking along the quayside.
Falmouth is a busy port. They could be here for any number of reasons.
Oh, no. Not Brother James. I know him too well.
Excuse me, did you say you were from Liverpool?
Ah, the Onedin line. We were interested in this tug, the Alice.
Must be a shortage of tugs up north. There's been another couple from Liverpool down here.
Oh? Who?
Give me an hour to take on coal, ma'am, and a little over to get back here. 2 o'clock?
Make it 3, will you? James! What a surprise.
Yeah, isn't it? Well, I know it's a small world, but I didn't know it was this small. You're the master of the tug, Alice.
I'm the owner. Dan Starr.
Me brothers. Mr. Robert Onedin and James here, who owns the Onedin line. I'm afraid you're a little late, though, James. Frasers have decided to buy the Alice. So you got your holiday then, Robert?
No. Yes, I am enjoying it.
Mind if I look her over?
I'm not going to turn down £5,000, Mr. Onedin.
5,000 for a tug?
I'd still like to look her over if you don't mind.
Come on, you two.
Who wants his dinner? Come and get it!
Come in. We could do more wind, Captain.
We're barely making 4 knots.
You know, I used to catch lobsters off that shore when I was a lad.
I didn't know you was a Cornishman, Captain.
Cornish? Not me. I'm from Barnstable, Devon. I used to have an uncle down this way, a fisherman at Mevagissey. They used to pack me off to him in the summer, send me on my way in a coach with a chunk of bread and a sausage, all wrapped up in a kerchief. You know, it's funny the things that stick in your mind.
You're right there, Captain.
Uncle Tobias used to take me out in his boat at night, and we'd sit there for hours, and barely a word would he ever utter. Those are the things you remember all your life.
Your favourite, Captain? See, bye.
Just the very thing I feel like.
We're on aground, sir.
Bosun, take sounding 4 1/2 to port and starboard.
Aye, aye, sir.
Mr. Potts, you come with me.
Over here.
Get the chart, Mr. Potts.
Aye, Captain.
checked our position and we should be clearing 10 fathoms at least in these waters.
No rocks, no sandbanks, no shingle.
No wreck on the chart either.
We're stuck on something forward, sir.
What are you sounding?
10.5 fathoms all round, except forward on the port bow, where we heard the crunch.
Then it must be a wreck.
But there is no wreck marked.
Then it must be an uncharted wreck.
An uncharted... Take the hatch covers off, lift everything out forward and take it aft, and maybe the bows will come up. Go on, quick as you can.
What's the tide doing?
Ebbing, didn't you notice?
That means whatever we're stuck on.
We shall just settle further and further onto it.
It's cider. You know, that tug isn't worth more than 3,500 to my mind.
More than that, I think.
James, you'll not play ducks and drakes with my money just because our Elizabeth's after it. You know what you and she are like when you're in the ring together?
If anyone wants me, I'd be out with Alice. Not back before night.
Not till tonight?
What are you taking, Mrs. Fraser? India?
If she's a mine, too. She's the customer. You, still be here tomorrow?
Oh, we're going to Bristol. It's 5:30.
Well, you did ought to find a tug or two for sale at Bristol.
Well, for a lot less than 5,000.
That's Mrs. Fraser's offer. It'd be a fool look a gift horse in the mouth, wouldn't it?
Well, if I were you, I'd look this one down the gullet. And be back by 5.
Can't promise that.
Well, surely 2 hours is long enough time to put a tug through its paces.
If Mrs. Fraser wants longer...
Then when you get back, we shall be gone. Mrs. Fraser left the field to herself, which is just what she's after. Or have you had a lot of other offers?
What would yours be, Mr. Onedin?
£3,800.
Not a penny more.
And no conditions, no messing about it, see? Cash on the nail, today.
But if your sister's offering near half as much again...
Just remember, we'll be gone by 5 o'clock.
She's come up about a foot, Captain.
Well, that ought to have cleared it.
Unless what's holding her is coming up with her.
We can't take any more aft. We're almost awash there as it is.
What can we do, Captain?
Well, we'll try hauling her off. The tide's still going down and taking more of our hull onto the wreck every minute. So run the kedge out aft and stand by to man the winch, Mr. Butts.
Aye, aye, sir. Captain, have you seen this?
Where is that flour stowed?
Aft, sir.
Well, it's ruined by now. I want it all up on deck and then jettisoned.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Are they getting those sacks of flour out?
They're doing their best, sir.
I will chase them up, Mr. Potts.
Aye, aye, sir.
Come on, get those bags shifted! Get them moving faster!
All right.
Look at that.
That'll do it. Let her go.
Aye, aye, sir.
Man the winch.
Come on, you landowners! Come on!
Heave!
Come on!
Heave! She's coming.
Come on, lads! Put your backs into it, lads! Heave!
No, it's the anchor that's coming. We're dragging her off the seabed.
No, no! She's bedded in! Come on! Put your backs into it!
Stop! We'll reach our bottom out in a minute. Come get that flour out. Come along, the pot's on the rope. It must be rowed ashore. There's not a house to be seen out there. It's pretty rough country. Probably have to foot it along the coast of Evergassy.
It's only a little fishing port. How can they help?
Well, at least you may find a telegraph office there.
Aye, aye, sir.
It's time we inform Mr. Onedin.
The Oberon's loaded with petroleum, but there's a better market for that in London, so send her on there, will you, Mr. Logan? She'll have to call here for orders anyway.
When does she leave Philadelphia?
The 4th. Could be here any day.
Excuse me. James.
You like a drink, Mr. Roberts?
Thank you, no, Mr. Logan. James, I've been to the railway station. We take a train for Exeter first, where we have to make a connection for a train for Bristol in the morning.
Oh, we shall still be here in the morning.
But you told Mr.
That
Starr.
was for Elizabeth's benefit. Look, once she thinks we've gone, no point in her hanging about at sea, is there? She'll be back by 6. Price will be down to 3,500. I know our sister like the back of my hand.
I've seen enough to turn for home now, Miss Fraser. I'd like to be back by 5.
We've not learned much about her yet.
Well, we've been at sea for more than an hour.
But it's all so calm.
I can't drum up a gale for you, ma'am.
Nevertheless, I ought to see how she behaves in one. Perhaps if we went further out.
It's a duck pond wherever you go.
Mr. Starr wants to take us back.
We were expecting longer than this.
Extensive trials.
There's naught else I can make her do for you.
Well, I don't think I've seen enough to justify £5,000. Is your business at 5 o'clock so pressing, Mr. Starr?
Your brother's offered me £3,800. Cash. On the nail.
Ah. And you're afraid he might have left by the time we get back?
He's taking the train at 5:30.
Very well, take us back. Mr. Harvey and I will have to consider again, of course. And if we do feel she's not been tested to the full, we may withdraw altogether. I wonder if my brother will still offer £3,800 when he learns the Frasers aren't interested anymore.
We've jettisoned as much flour as we can, sir, but there's sacks of it we just can't reach.
How much water is there?
Only a foot or two and right in the stern. We're pumping whenever it's needful.
Well, we can't be hold that bad. High tide should lift us off then.
With luck.
Not with luck. Luck's never been too kind to me.
But she can't take any more aft, sir. She's low enough there as it is.
Then we'll take everything off the ship altogether. Bring up the longboat, we'll run everything ashore we can.
Well, the boat would sink into one of them crates.
Then we'll open them up. There's 10 dozen clocks in one. We can look after those in the boat. Kitchen sinks in another. Cast iron grates. Pictures. There's even cannonballs in one.
Aye, aye, Captain.
We've got 6 hours, bosun. No more.
Well, there's always another tide, sir.
Won't be so high tomorrow. Neap tides are setting in, each one lower than the last. If she don't float off tonight, she never will.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Inshore there, can you see?
Yeah, I've got her.
It's a funny place to anchor.
All right, bring her around, we'll take a closer look.
Hey! Look, it's a steamer! Bosun! It's a steamer!
Where's the captain?
Below.
Sir, there's a steamer. It's not too far off and it looks like a tug.
A tug, eh?
Well, shall I signal, sir?
BDJ, that's all.
But you only asked for 4,000, so you've not done badly if we settle at 3,850.
We're down to that.
It's what she's worth.
There's a schooner in trouble close into the shore. She's signalling.
What?
BDJ, I am aground.
Right.
I thought you were anxious to get back.
That schooner needs a tow.
I should have stayed in the galley.
Come on, Ernie, get on with it.
What's the time?
Just on 5 bells, sir.
There's plenty of time to make room for that big church bell here before high water.
But with that tug on the way, sir?
Oh, we're not in need of assistance of any tug. What's in there, Ernie?
Some sort of steam engine, Captain. We'll never get that out.
That tug gives us a tow, sir.
Oh, she'll name a price. They always do.
But insurance pays that, doesn't it, sir, if it saves the cargo?
Not if we can save it ourselves, and we can. Now, try and dismantle it, Ernie. That big flywheel should come off at least. But don't talk to me about insurance, because there is none. Mr. Onedin let it lapse.
Not insured? You let Captain Baines put out to sea in a ship that is not insured?
I didn't intend to. Sailing was delayed. It ran out the day we left Liverpool.
All the same, that insurance should have been renewed.
It's not as easy as you think. Look, Charlotte Roach is well over 10 years old now. So her A1 classification expired. They won't renew it unless I have a major refit. Even then, the premiums will be nearly double.
She doesn't have to be A1.
Oh, you can't get first-class freights. She's not. Anyway, I told Baines I'd sort it all out when I get back to Liverpool.
Well, where are you off to now, then?
See where that truck's got, sir. It's after 6. Should be here any time now.
It's the Charlotte Roads.
So I see.
Get nearer to her. She's moving in. Hi there! Shall we tow you off, Captain? What's your price? What? How much will it cost? I'd half a mind to say £1,200. What's it worth to you, Captain? £10. What do you say?
£10, I think.
You don't mean that. We'll tow you off for 300. You hear? 300 pounds. The tide's coming in. The sea will do it for nothing. He's gone below.
He has his pride.
He could be right. High tide should float her off. We'll stand off, just in case.
What would you say, Mr. Starr, to 4,500?
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
I mean it.
I thought you meant 5,000.
Look, I've nothing to gain this time by going back on my word later. If you don't trust me, let me give you a bill of hand for the money now. For £4,500. That is my offer.
Elizabeth, you don't have to pay that much.
That is my decision. Well, Mr. Starr?
We'll see how you feel tomorrow.
I may feel very differently tomorrow.
Yes, happen you might.
Well, then accept it now while you have the chance. A bill of hand payable in cash through my Falmouth agents. And a receipt from you transferring the Alice to my ownership now. Well, think what a weight off your mind it would be.
Why the hurry?
Why the delay? I'm a very capricious person, Mr. Starr, and if Mr. Harvey is going to spend the rest of the voyage trying to dissuade me, as I can see he is...
All right, Mrs. Fraser. You make out a bill of hand for £4,500. The Alice is yours from then on.
You'll not regret it.
I only hope you won't.
Good evening. Could I have a Jamaican white? And a pint of that, what is it?
Scrumpy?
Scrumpy, fine, thank you. You know, James, it's nearly 7 o'clock now. Perhaps our Elizabeth really did take that tug out to sea. I mean, perhaps she really did mean £5,000.
Well, then they won't fool her.
Well, otherwise she'd have been back by now.
Yeah. Unless Starr didn't tell her we were leaving at 5. Now, that could make sense.
Aye.
There you are, sir. I've been all over looking for you. Telegram, sir.
I find it quite charming. Most unusual. Thank you.
Charlotte Rose. She's aground. What? I've never kissed her. Stuck on a wreck.
Why so concerned about her now, Mrs. Fraser?
With this wind getting up, she could really be in danger.
Oh, I doubt it'll come to much. Not till past midnight, anyway. The tide will have got her off by then.
Nevertheless, I think it's only friendly to cruise around for a while, just in case.
Whatever you say, Mrs. Fraser. You're the owner now.
Yes.
Stand by the hoist. Let her in.
There's room enough now with that bell, Captain, if we can find a way to shift it.
How much water back there?
Not too badly. The pump's doing a good job.
Oh, it's a bit different up front.
A bit of weight to that bell, sir.
Yeah, but it's still much heavier aft.
Hey, haul away.
Hey, if the water in the bilges is running forward, that...
But loaded as she is, her stern's coming up on the tide, but not her bows.
She's jammed fast, not coming up at all. It's not a question of waiting for high tide. Her bows will be awash in an hour and a half.
If we could just get that bell aft.
No amount of lightning are making a difference. Who's the best swimmer?
Swimmer?
Aye.
Probably me, sir.
Good. Then perhaps you can get underneath her. I mean, try and see what's holding her. If we can prise it apart for a moment, our bows will shoot up like a bubble.
Oh, damn it, I can't sit here all day doing nothing. Mr. Logan. Charter me a tug, steamer, anything, so long as it's faster.
Have you any idea how much that'll cost?
I'm not interested.
Well, it won't be cheap, you know.
Robert, you just don't understand.
Bosun!
What's up?
It's choked up. Tom's chokes.
I'll tell the captain.
Choked? What do you mean, choked?
It's all that flour being sucked in, sir. Even if they clear it.
How much water are we taking in?
Well, it's too early to see yet.
Send us the wind, sir. It's come round to the southwest, and it's going to whip up the waves, and the way we're lying, we'd be taking them all broadside.
Yeah, perhaps they'll sweep us off the wreck.
They'll break us up, sir.
You think I don't know that? Get underneath them, Mr. Potts. See what you can do.
I'll do my very best.
Is that tug still out there?
Yes, sir.
Send up a rocket, bosun.
That's it. Distress signal from the Charlotte Roads.
Right, we'll make for a no.
Have you the Lloyd salvage forms aboard?
We shan't need those.
Have you negotiated one of these before, Matt?
If there's any negotiating to be done, Mrs. Fraser.
Mr. Harvey will do it.
I will.
No, Mr. Starr. Mr. Harvey will on my behalf as owner of this tug. Ask for £2,000. The salvage courts will uphold that.
Not for 20 minutes. I've been waiting here for over an hour.
We had to take on coal.
Coal? Oh, yeah, of course. Yes. You'd think in a port the size of Falmouth there'd at least be one tug ready for sea that we could hire without delay.
No, there's still no sign of the Alice.
Oh, shut up.
Perhaps she's gone to the rescue of the Charlotte Roads. Well, if she sailed up the coast, it's possible. Your lot could be in.
Look.
It'll take us at least 3 hours to get there. And with this wind turning into a gale...
We're just in time to pick up the pieces.
Captain says to tell you to try again, Mr. Potts. That tug could take us off. They're claiming insurance, and the master's not prepared for that yet.
He's going to lose her altogether if he's not careful.
Look! Your bows are almost underwater already!
The ship is not insured.
What?
Any claim you make will fall directly on Mr. Onedin.
You asked for assistance, Captain.
Yeah, well, then throw a line astern for a reasonable recompense, not £2,000.
You've been on that wreck for hours. To try and tow her off now would just tear her to pieces.
I know the risk. Don't teach me, boy.
It's up to the salvers to decide how to do it.
We're not a case for salvage yet.
But you barely got half an hour.
All right, we're batting down the hatches before the sea comes over us.
All this just to save £2,200?
£2,000, you said.
If we fail to salve her, we get nothing. That's the essence of the Lloyd's contract. No cure, no pay. And since the longer you leave it, the harder the job, my price will go up accordingly. Now, it's £2,200 if you sign now.
Well, it isn't easy to lay out someone else's money.
Look, not all of it's going to fall on Onedin. The insurers of the cargo will pay for most.
Not when they find out that he's been taken to sea in an uninsured ship. Mr. Onedin will have to pay the lot.
Well, he's going to have to pay a great deal more if he loses half of his cargo as well as his ship.
I think we've found it, sir. It's the old wreck's mast.
Stuck in our hull at an angle of 45 degrees. 15 foot from the bow.
15 foot from the bow? That means it's come up underneath the hull. Now, there's one place in there we haven't looked.
So whatever it is, it's come up under the bow.
Or in the bilges underneath, it's holding us like a skewer in a joint of meat.
Are you ready down there? Hoist her up! Well, that warp, take it.
Hoist it!
Aye, there it is.
Now hold it there, Clem. Now leave it, leave it, leave it. It's like a cork in a bottle. If you move that, we may go down in minutes.
Well, if we can't take it out, what can we do?
Well, rightly speaking, we should cut it off underneath, but to hold your breath under the hull long enough to saw through.
Yeah, the only way we can do that is to build some kind of diving bell.
You're mad. If you want to know what I think you're mad.
Turn a glass upside down in the water and the air stays inside if you lower it square. There'll be enough air in that bell for me to breathe while I saw through the mast.
The sea will knock him off that.
Not if he sits astride.
Well, can't you make it more stable, then?
There isn't time. I'm going to tie this rope inside to the clapper. That way, both hands will be free for the saw.
If the air gets foul or the water comes up inside the bell, you'll have no way to signal the surface.
I just know that Mr. Onedin would not pay salvage if there was another way out. Certainly not 2,200 of Fraser's.
Well, he's not going to like it if he loses his ship and you.
He's not going to like it if he loses the ship.
He hasn't got much room in there, you know. He's twice your size.
And us that saw.
He hasn't got much air either.
I'll have more than him. I think you better lower me down over that mast.
You're not going.
I'm the ship's carpenter, not the master. Right, lower me down.
Right, lads. Swing her over. All right, lower away.
What do you think you're doing? Who is that?
Ship's carpenter, sir. More to the right, lads.
Bring that man back.
Gently now.
Why did you let him do it?
Anything should happen, sir. Well, there's plenty of other good carpenters around.
I can hear him sawing! I can hear him!
You wouldn't have lost a life my way. Just money.
Just having a rest, that's all. Well, I must need it, sawing underwater. Get him up! We must get him up!
Wait!
Right, get him up.
Are you all right, Ernie?
I'm no better, Captain. I'll have the supper going in 10 minutes.
Mr. Potts, half the cargo's ashore. I want it all back on board and probably stowed. And look, aye, aye, sir.
Thank you very much for your kind offer of help, but I think it's about time you return to your tug, don't you?
Perhaps we should stay for the weekend. Give you time to cool down.
I think not.
Ransom, boys, ransom! Ransom, boys, ransom!
Do you know, Mr. Logan, I'm quite bored to like this. What do they call it? Scrumpy, sir. Scrumpy, right. In fact, I like this place altogether. It's rough and ready. No pretensions, if you understand that, I mean. Yeah, you see, I couldn't be seen in a place like this back home in Liverpool, you see. Because my wife, she'd have a fit of the vapours, you know, if she found me in a place like this.
Talking of your wife, sir, don't you think you ought to reply to this telegram?
Must have an answer regarding house immediately. See, it's demands from her, Mr. Logan.
The telegraph office will be closing soon, sir.
Then let it. Are you married, Mr. Logan?
I'm a widower.
Oh, I wish as I was. Well, no, that is unkind. But you see, I'm put upon, Mr. Logan. Put upon, if you understand what I mean. And I came down here to think things over. You see, I've only been in Falmouth one day, mark you, one day, and I've had 2 telegrams from her about this house, you see. Well, I've come to the conclusion that the only place for peace and quiet is the grave. Because that's what my father... Captain Harvey!
Good evening, gentlemen.
Come, sit. You haven't by any chance on your travels, your perambulations, seen my brother?
We met him on his way to the Charlotte Road. But he needn't have worried, she's safe.
Thank goodness for that. I'm glad about that. Because, you see, Captain Harvey, Mr. Logan, the Charlotte Road was the first ship that my brother and I ever owned. It's true. Would you care for some refreshment?
Thank you very much.
Run for the captain, Mr. Logan!
I've got a message for you, sir.
Yes.
From your sister. Oh. She's taking the first train back to Liverpool, and she wonders if you'd care to accompany her.
No, Mr. Harvey. No, I prefer to wait here until my brother returns.
I'll tell her, sir.
Thank you very much.
Do you know what that means, sir?
Well, of course. It means that you are a captain.
Wrong, sir. It means that I'm a messenger boy.
Are we all messenger boys? Why, she's been playing you up then?
In every sense, sir.
Well, that's women the world over.
That's not true, Mr. Onedin. I've travelled the world, but they're not all like that.
Here we are, gentlemen. Well, I've yet to find one that's different. Only wish to God it could.
So I'll tell her thank you, but no.
Right.
I imagined that she thought you'd want to get back to Liverpool quickly to prepare for the election.
Election? What are you talking about?
It was on the placards when we landed. Mr. Disraeli has announced a general election.
Oh, have you?
Well, we've got the pumps working again, and if we can limp into Plymouth, we can get the end of the mast out and patch her up.
Now, have you got the flywheel on that steam engine back?
Yes, sir. No harm done.
10 dozen clocks, it says here.
All back on board, sir.
And they're still working?
Shall I get a man to wind them up, sir?
Now, those pianos, damp doesn't do them much good.
Well, I'm not a piano player myself, sir.
A lot of crates to replace.
Well, the recrating can take place, sir, when we get back to Southampton.
Oh, yes, at whose expense? No, we'll do it on board. Part of Ernie's duties as ship's carpenter. I'll have all that timber and dunnage to pay for, quite apart from the flour that you chucked overboard.
Yes, sir. Come in.
Your breakfast, Captain?
Not for me. I'm going on deck.
What's that?
Sea pie. The captain's very fond of it.
So am I. Do you get paid extra for being ship's cook?
No, I don't.
Oh, well. We'll have to look into that when you get paid off, eh? A man ought to be properly rewarded for any work he does beyond the call of duty, eh?
Thank you, Mr. Onedin.
Very good, is it? Right. Best sea pie I've tasted for years.